Seen my beautiful baby? Have you seen my tomato baby? Oh, ELA, baby, suffer the cool me temper. Aga, baby, the sugar, sugar. Yo. Everybody they wait. If I didn't maka, better soup on a money kilamo. I don't want to beg him, yeah. Everybody do it. I cannot know. If I didn't better soup on a money kilamo. I don't want to beg him, yeah. I don't know the lack that get up for everywhere. I don't know the lack that get up for up and down. Baby, not tomato, baby, too fresh like honey wine. Adawelele, Iyoko, everybody they wait. Utakene no more. If I didn't maka, better soup on a money kilamo. I don't want to beg him, yeah. Everybody do it. What you like and it's ready, mama. Let us put on a money. I don't want to beg him, Mommy, bye bye. Daddy, bye bye.
In 9 months' time, you will come visiting with a boy and girl. And Pejima. Yes. Wow. Wow. I am so excited. Yes. Let's see what the family members are saying. Oh, yes, sir. This is it. My dad is asking, did you see him dancing? Please respond to him. Did you guys see my dad dancing? Let's see. Doris is dancing. Please say Happy New Year, amazing page. Yeah, Happy New Year. Oh, Tajudin said yes. Daddy, they said they saw you dancing. Onyinye said no, yes. Onyinye is laughing. Oye Bitan said this is great. Thank you very much. And Chioma said you all did great. Daddy, yes, they did see you dancing. Please, Shegun the fan. Who is disappearing now? Dr. Temitope. Dr. Temitope, please, can you show your face? Madam Hope. Yes. I don't know what happened to. Yeah, maybe increase it a bit. I don't know what happened to Daddy Benjamin. I don't know what happened to him. So, yes. Good evening. Dr. Temitope, you're upside down. You're upside, You're up. Okay, good, good. All right. So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening from my dad. Good evening, That's fantastic. Good evening. So, Daddy, the family members, people on the platform, they've been asking me to bring you to the show. They want to see you. They have all been asking of you. Okay, this is Mr. Benjamin. He's trying to come to the stage. So today they are so happy that you came live. Not just did you come live, Daddy, you also danced. You showed them what you can do. So that's fantastic. So tonight, where is Mr. Benjamin? Okay, Daddy Benjamin is here as well. Yes, we can see Daddy Benjamin.
Has he seen me?
Yes, he's seeing you.
Mr. Benjamin.
Yeah, Mr. Benjamin, Daddy is greeting you.
We shall dance together.
Yes, so I think we better start. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nurse Angel in the house, and with me tonight is my dad. Daddy, do you want to introduce yourself?
You are all welcome,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very happy. I'm pleased to see you.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Ozo Chukwu Chebe, the Knight of Mulumba,
Yeah.
Samuel Onuko.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Daddy. Keep the rest for later. And also, Mr. Benjamin, can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself as well? Daddy Benjamin. Good.
God bless you, ma.
God bless you, sir.
And God bless my honorable daddy in the house.
Yes.
I would like to dance with daddy also.
Okay.
God bless all our family, in our mind family, in our talk show this night. My name's Evangelist Elder Benjamin Omo. I welcome you all to the talk show this night. God bless you all.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much, Daddy Evangelist Benjamin. And also on the screen tonight, can you please unmute Dr. Temitope and once again quickly introduce yourself? Come on.
Thank you very much. Most distinguishedly, I want to appreciate the presence of our father in the house and the presence of our most distinguished facilitator to here, and Nurse Angel. My name is Dr. Adeyanju Temitope Peter. I'm a consultant, public health practitioner, an educationist, a sociologist, and a scribe in the Temple of Justice. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Daddy.
I will one day come to your clinic.
Daddy, that's what I wanted to say to you. You know, because I called you doctor, Daddy, he's not a medical doctor. He's an academic doctor.
It doesn't matter. I will discuss academically.
Fantastic! My dad is saying to you that he is equal to your task tonight. So, yes, he's a lecturer in the university.
Aha! You lecture me, and I will take notes.
Okay, so behind the screen is our one and only Dr. Hope. Do you want to introduce yourself, Dr. Hope? Please unmute and introduce yourself if you are there. Is she there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, yes. I can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Daddy. Good evening in our mind family. I remain my humble self, Okoye Hope Nkiruka.
Okoye Hope Nkiruka. Okoye Hope Nkiruka, thank you very much. I think the house.
Welcome.
Yeah, my dad is.
We are pleased to see you.
Oh, yes.
And hear from you.
Yes, Daddy. We enjoyed your dance.
And I appreciate
you dance past all of them. Then another set of people that dance well is Evangelist and the daughter. They danced well too.
Thank you.
All of you dance past Nurse Angel.
No problem. No problem. I'm happy to. My daddy will.
Are you sure you are giving?
Oh, my daddy will give it to you.
Current assessment.
My daddy is now questioning your assessment. You don't know he does not joke with me. You cannot talk down at me in his presence.
It's not a matter of joking with you. I'm talking of dance. You saw the way he did it. You saw it.
Yeah,
the members of the house saw it too.
Okay. I thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, if we can all mute, I want to remind us that tonight we are going to be talking about culture, the culture of inheritance. Yes, we've looked at culture before, so we don't need to dive into the definition and what have you about culture. We already have looked at it in the part 1 of the culture before the Christmas break, and in the part 1, we looked at wife inheritance, and we all had our opinion on what we had to say regarding wife inheritance. Tonight, we are going to talk about property inheritance. So we will be looking, and that is why we have our fathers in the house, Daddy Samuel, Ozo. My dad is also actually the Ozo. When I say to him, Mr. Samuel, he said, no, please call me Ozo. So Ozo in the house, he's going to talk about
in Nigeria, not in the house.
Okay, Ozo in Nigeria. Daddy, in the house, I mean, is you're in the studio with live now.
You said the only Ozo in the studio.
Oh my God, tonight is going to be a great night. My dad said he is the only Ozo in the studio. And you're right. Yes, so we have tonight the only Ozo in the studio. You guys can see that even if I'm a talkative, my dad is taking it off me. He is talking more than I am. Yes, so we want to look at the practical aspect of the culture. Ozo in the house is about 80 years old. Yeah. No, you are 80, Daddy. Don't worry about the more. You are 80 by birth. So, but by increasing the age, you can be more than 80. Then we have Father Daddy Benjamin here. These our fathers are going to come with the practical aspects of culture. They are going to talk about it because they've lived it, they've seen it, they've practiced it, and they will tell us whether it is good or bad and what they think about it. That is why we are not just hearing from our doctors in the house and professors, they will just give us the theoretical part. So we will talk about the people that have actually lived it, seen how it was being practiced, and what they think about it, whether to maintain it or whether it is time for change. I have not discussed this with my dad. I will say this to you, which is true. I don't know his opinion about it, but tonight we are going to hear his opinion. But before we give it to the elders in the house, we want to hear from Madam Dr. Hope. She has a case study she's currently dealing with, which she will share with our daddies in the house, and they will tell us what they think about it. So, Madam Hope, can we allow you to talk to us about the culture of inheritance, case studies about the one you have at hand? Madam Hope, unmute if you're talking. Please unmute and talk.
Hello.
We can hear you now.
Okay. I was actually trying to, this festive period, and some of my relatives are still much more around. So I had to try to change my location so that their voices will not interfere.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. We are talking about inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about inheritance, we are talking about what every child, the right of every child to receive something from the late father or the late mother. Most of the times, we would, okay, late parents. Or even while they are still around, they can still inherit them. They can still give them some things that is valuable to them. And when we look at these things, we are looking at it can be of economic value. It can come in many ways. It can be a property. It can be money. It can be gold. It can be stock. It can be clothing. It can be anything. It can be landed property. It can be building. It can be factories, industries, whatever it is, an asset, something that is
or money in the
valuable.
bank, or money in the bank as well.
Yes, I've talked about money. So could be money in the bank. So these are inheritance. And we found out that most of the times, if coming from my own background, most of the times, girl child who later became a woman, from the point of being a girl child, she doesn't have the right. No, let me not say doesn't have the right. She's been denied of receiving or inheriting anything from the parents. Even when she's married, she will not inherit her husband, she will not inherit her father. If anything happens to the husband, in fact, they will say that she is going to the husband's house, so whatever belongs to the man is, she will go and inherit the husband. But he found out that even while the person goes into marriage, she cannot even inherit the husband. Rather, even what she has as her own should also be acquired, should also be claimed as the husband's own, since she's being seen as a property to the man. So everything, they will tell you that everything that belongs to the woman belongs to the man, that the man is the owner of the woman. So he owns everything that belongs to that woman. Even if she made her own, whether she acquired her own property herself, whatever it is, it belongs. So you find out that women are being impoverished. They are being disinherited. And this is one of the major basic, one major gender-based violence. We call it economic violence. Is an economic abuse. And the law.
Before you continue, just to talk to the house, we will also have a calling section as time maybe in the next 30 minutes. Our phone number is scrolling down the screen. Be ready to call in when we open up the session for calling. So, Madam Hope, thank you for all your explanation. Can you give us the case study which we are going to talk about tonight?
Okay. The case study I shared with you, I don't think I feel free to share it because of the people.
Without mentioning names, ma.
Without mentioning names, let me just summarize it. Is a case of a man who has the very first child the very first child he had happened to be a girl child. The first fruit of his youth happened to be a girl child. And he had 10 children. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters.
Okay, 7 sons and 3 daughters. Good.
Yes. And the man was privileged to be blessed of the Lord. He had properties, he had lands, he had buildings, and all whatever. Unfortunately, when this man died, his 7 sons inherited everything that belonged to him, excluding the 3 daughters. Even when the first child is a girl, the daughter is the very first child of the man. Okay. But because she is a woman, nobody cares, irrespective of their social status. among them, among these men we are talking about, some of them are lecturers in the universities. Some of them are doctors. Some of them, you won't say that they are illiterate. They are also well-to-do. They have their own money. Even among the women, they also academically, socially, but this is something that the same father, the same blood that is running in their vein is the same blood that is running in the female's vein. It's just that they happen to be male and these other ones are female. And they felt that they are the only ones that are entitled to their father's assets, excluding these three women.
Madam Hope, we have heard the case and we'll have to go quickly to the next person. We'll come back to you again for more details where needed. Dr. Temitope, you heard what Madam Hope said. A father has 10 children, 7 of them are male. A girl child is the first child, 3 girls and 7 male. When he died, all his property shared amongst the 7 men. What do you have to say about that, Dr. Temitope, from your research?
This is, once again, in our mind, always in my mind. My destiny is in my hand. Once again, good evening to all our audience in our various locations in different parts of the world. We sincerely esteem and appreciate everyone for partaking. Very simply, let's understand that you cannot divulge or separate a man or a woman from their culture. Culture is a cognate part of every individual. The culture defines you. The culture has a way of influencing your decisions. Culture most often takes prevalence over most of our public life and private lives. The specific narrative or case study shared tonight tells us the impact of culture on us. And with preference to the works of Albert Bandura on social learning theory, Sigmund Freud on psychoanalytical theory, and so many other theorists, let's appreciate the fact that we learned them. Culture is learned. Culture is shared. Okay? But the important part of tonight's activity is for us to begin to seek ways for reorientating ourselves. Certain cultures that debases us, certain culture that devalues us, certain culture that destroys our social and cultural and societal fabrics should not be allowed to be sustained, should not be allowed to continue. Such instances as shared tonight tells, you can imagine the profile of the individuals mentioned, those children, doctors, lecturers, and the likes, and yet they allow culture to devalue them, to debase them, and to destroy those good fabrics of the society. We can't sustain a society that way. We can't build a healthy lifestyle that way. So for me, we should begin to seek for ways of correcting, regulating, and amending, possibly recreating some sets of culture that doesn't speak well of us, regardless of wherever we are located in the planet Earth, be it in East Africa, North Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, be it in Europe, be it in America. Let's understand, culture is everywhere. Once again, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I just saw that this is Rose Onuko, Owuzuru's wife, your brother's wife. She said, please, my data is finished. Good night. She's not going to listen to you talk. Madam Rose, wherever you are, listen, because also we soon be talking. You cannot leave us. And also we find out from you whether you heard his statements or not. Otherwise, Madam Rose is my dad's younger brother's wife. So she will be in trouble if she doesn't hear her husband speak. Okay, so we are going to go to Mr. Benjamin and Daddy Benjamin. Daddy Benjamin, can you please unmute? And what we want to hear from you, we have heard from Madam Hope. She gave a case study of a man with 10 children, 7 male and 3 female. And when he died, only the men divulged the property and shared it amongst themselves without giving the women, not even the first eldest child, which is a girl child. And Dr. Temitope has given us the theoretical viewpoint on what he thinks and the need for a reform. Dr. Daddy Benjamin, we would like to hear from you. What do you think about this culture of sharing the wealth of the parents to only the male children, ignoring the women? What do you have to say about that, Daddy Benjamin?
Yes, God bless you, ma. And God bless everyone in the house, the family of in our mind, always in our mind. Our destiny is in our hand.
Yes.
With all this, I will say with that word, that is always I say, Mama, you have a good ministry. And the ministry is our ministry. You are a God-chosen servant that God has brought to the earth to correct mistakes of the past. And these mistakes of the past lies on the foundations of the world.
Wow.
That connotes with the sharing of properties according to our forefathers, on the implementation of what they call culture. Yeah. Because this culture, in their time, they made this culture to reign according to their time. They did not know that the world is revolving. And as the world is revolving, in our time is not their time.
No.
Many things have changed. And if we want to continue to be like them, we cannot move the world forward. Wonderful. So we have to make changes in all things, especially in the sharing of properties, our led properties, fathers, mothers, ignoring the girls' children, just like all the speakers have spoken. In fact, all these properties, if you want to look into it, may have been contributed by girls' children. Houses, money were entered into families that have male children, and those male children have not contributed anything for the progress of the family. But it is the female children that build houses for their parents. I have an example that a girl child builds house for the family. Male children are there. They had a muddy house, that is the ancient building they have. And things has gone rough. The girl child came in existence to pull down that ancient house and build a house, a better house, a block house. A house that somebody can turn eye and see and give God the glory. But if this man or the family died, you can see that the male children will come out to get the house and to turn it to themselves, to share the properties of the man among themselves as male children. This is wrong. All children are given by God. I think equality is supposed to be admitted into the family. That when the family has passed away, equality is supposed to be impacted. Abolishment of neglecting female children should be applied. Our world today does not need all those things of our ancient fathers, called our forefathers and foremothers, whatever they have called themselves. They have done in the past. Children
Wow, network.
Children. I can repeat myself.
Thank you.
I said, all right. Can I come again?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I said equality should be applied.
Wow.
What our ancient people has applied as culture should be ignored, should be abolished, should stop. And the female children should have shade in the properties, whatever the parents has had before they pass away. They should share things equally, because all these things may have been contributed by the female children. The male children are children. Female children are children. But the most contribution in some families are the female children. We can
Okay.
Imagine what and who she is. Are you with me?
Yes, yes.
Can you see what a female woman has done to the family? You cannot compare that. A name that has been gone over the world. You cannot compare. We have not heard of her brother's name, but only the female woman's name going all around the world. Now tell me, if her father, by the grace of God, at his time has reached, they want to share properties, they will ignore such woman. What will the world say? I may say most of the properties of her father may be contributed by that woman. So we should adopt the system of this new generation and ignore the old generation. Female children have contributed enough to the family, and equality should be applied. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Daddy is now, Ozo Samuel, is now your turn. But before you say something, there is something I want to reiterate. Mr. Benjamin or Daddy Benjamin, everyone here is a doctor, including my dad. So Mr. Benjamin said, Daddy, that equality should be applied in inheritance, division of inheritance for the children. He gave example of a female that builds houses for the parents. Okay, now if they die, will the male children come to take over? There is something important that Benjamin said. He said, what our ancient parents made as culture in terms of this division of property should be ignored. And Daddy, there is something that came to mind when I heard what he said. He said, these ancient parents, I know we have constitutions, we have laws, we have policies in our workplace, we have constitutions for the countries all over the world. And as time goes on, Daddy, people in the country want a review of the constitution because they believe that this constitution is no longer applicable or workable based on changes in either technology or either a lot of changes, development, and what was obtainable before. The whole country deemed it fit to request for constitutional reform, change, amendment, or a new constitution. Why can the culture not be changed when the culture was made by man, not thrown from heaven? So if men of old just like Daddy Benjamin said, made cultures that they thought was applicable then, and currently they're all saying it should be changed. Daddy, can I ask you a question? Do you think culture should be upheld because it was made by our Asian parents, so don't change it? Or do you think that culture should change? And tell us why.
Thank you very much. There's nothing that is static. Everything in the world will be viewed with the present situation.
Yeah.
In the old, what obtains in the old does not obtain now.
Okay.
Women are very responsible now.
Yeah.
The life of a man mostly depends on the girl child.
Wow.
Because the male child will look away, while the female child will always say, my dad.
Oh.
Anything relating to the dad touches her.
Oh.
So the old culture,
Mm.
I will say, must be looked at and changed for better. Since the man gave birth to both the male and the female child, what comes out from the man should be equitably shared.
I like the word equitably shared. Thank you. Go on, Daddy.
If people are saying that the female child, if married, has some share in the husband's family, they may be wrong, because all families are not the same. In order to make the female child happy and proud, you should give her something that is known as insurance.
Insurance.
Making sure that she has something to rely on or base on in any situation. Because the husband can kick her away. And if we go by the culture, then she will be
Homeless.
hopeless.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
But if she has something, if the husband knows that if you kick her away, she has something to base upon, the husband will be very careful. So I think that granting a female child an opportunity to have the father's share will give her adequate protection
Wow.
in the family. So I'm against asking the male child to take everything and the female child to wander away. So since the man is responsible for the birth of both the female and the male, he should also accept them as God-given gift.
Wow, 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 wow. Daddy, please, you, in fact, wow, wow. My daddy is so intelligent. My daddy is so intelligent. Woo!
Daddy is a philosopher.
Wow, wow. Like father, like daughter. I am amazed. I am short of words. Honestly, as I was coming today, I didn't know what he's going to say. I have not asked him to say his own part. And I just said to him, Daddy, you're coming to talk. In fact, he has asked me, he wanted to come live. And I said, today you'll be coming live. Daddy, you spoke Wow, you even use some of my words because people say equal, I say equitably, and you used it. I'm like, did I learn it from you or did you learn it from me?
You never had me spoken.
I've never had it spoken on this particular topic. So
what is good for the geese is good for the gender.
My dad is using my words. Daddy, I need to talk before Madam Hope will now take over. You know, she's good.
I want to add one small thing.
Okay, sir.
The female child will refer to the man as my father.
Oh.
The male child will refer to the man as my father.
Oh.
So the man is fathering both of them.
Wow.
And both of them should share whatever benefit or gift that God bestowed on the man.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you very much. Daddy, I want to say that
finally, I am not in my son's house now. I'm in my daughter's house.
Wow.
Taking care of me.
Oh.
So you will now see that both are very important.
Wow.
And should not be disregarded. Wow. Nobody should be given preference against the other.
Wow.
They should be equally treated. Wow. So that when you are in danger, you will receive their support.
Wow, wow. Daddy, anything more from you will be bomb. Wow, Daddy, you've spoken well. We've all, Daddy Benjamin, we've all spoken well. There is something that every one of you, including Dr. Hope, was saying that, Daddy, you said it as well. I heard it from Daddy Benjamin and Dr. Temitope, that they will say that she's going to get married and we inherit her from her husband's side. And Daddy, I know you made reference of it, saying, what about if the person is kicked out? But for me, I want to say that, excuse me, what's the meaning of she will get married? What about the man? Is he or is he not getting married? What is the meaning of every time I hear people argue based on the fact that she is getting married, but the man is also getting married to a woman? The same way the woman is getting married to a man. Therefore, if she is getting married, he is equally getting married. What is that argument about? What are they basing the getting married on? Is it that if she gets married, what happens? What about the man? Is the man not married to a woman? If anything is applicable to the woman for getting married, it's also applicable to the man for also equally getting married. So please, let's not bring this topic. I'm sorry. When I'm so passionate
about it, should be a Commonwealth affair.
Commonwealth affair. That is the word. Commonwealth affair. So I will go back to Dr. Hope, or now the phone lines are open. If you look on the screen, you will see the phone number scrolling down the screen. Please call us and let's hear from you. You can question that. We have wealth in the house, daddies, professors, doctors, and what have you. So with no further ado, I want to go back to Dr. Hope. Dr. Hope, can you unmute? You heard what our daddies say, and the argument about that, what have you. Can you unmute and tell us, having told us, share the story, and having heard from what they're saying, how do you think, Dr. Hope, that this wealth will now be shared amongst siblings in the household? Not just how you feel. I need you to say two things quickly. How do you, wealth sharing, tell us, what do you think should be the best way to share wealth? Then secondly, how can we implement it? Because it's not just talk, it's time for action. Madam Dr. Hope.
Okay, if we are talking about sharing of father's inheritance, every child has equal rights to their father. This is not a matter of your gender strength or weakness or whatever, your biological masculinity or feminine, whatever you call it. we are talking of sharing of assets, something that is valuable, something that could be translated to money, something that can make somebody, that can help you to stand, and whatever you can call it. As far as that thing your parents has value, every child has equal right. Though you may consider the aspect of maybe firstborn, whatever, you make sure that everything, just like daddy, you people used equity.
Madam Hope?
And consider, maybe there is even among the children somebody that should need more portion to enable that person, to support that person to stand. But the truth remains that the problem we are having is that most of the times it's been anchored that a father did not write a will. And that is an aspect I want to bring up to this, our family, so that even as we are here, part of the way of correcting these abnormalities is that we even know, one thing is that death is how do you put it?
Inevitable.
It's something that we know that everybody must die. It's just that you don't know when you will die and how you will die. But we know that we must surely die. So if you look at your loved daughters and sons, and it's not just even your children. Sometimes when somebody dies, the brothers will take away his things and will not even allow his wife and his children to even inherit him. Even when he has a son, it's all encompassing this.
Okay, so whilst we wait for Madam Dr. Hope to come back, Dr. Temitope, you've heard what was said, not just about how to share property. I want to hear from you. I don't want us to talk about the first son syndrome or the first daughter syndrome. Let's take that away for now. It's a big case. It's a big case for another topic. But for now, we are looking at inheritance sharing. Can you please tell us, how do you think that we are going to ensure that there will be fair sharing, not just talking about
Can you hear me?
Okay, Madam Hope, yes. You were
Can
talking.
you hear me? The network disconnected me.
Yes, go on.
Yes, a quick one is that we that is alive in our own families, in our own communities, is the people that is alive that is even perpetrating this thing. Let us join to help to protect every woman and every family from being economically abused. If the parents did not write will, let everybody know that whether there is will or not, that these people should inherit their father. You look at what is available and consider how, when it's being shared, everybody will be happy, will be okay.
Dr. Hope, before you go on, let me ask you a question quickly on parents sharing and writing will. We are talking about cultural influence on will the inheritance distribution. Therefore, from what we all said and crying for change, that means that someone is calling me, let me decline. From what we are hearing, it means that the cultural impact of parents writing will or inheritance sharing is favorably to the men. And what the fathers are saying here in the house, including yourself, is time for change. So writing of will is one thing, but the main thing we want to look at is, how do you ensure that that will that is written is fairly distributed to both male and female? Because there may be a written will that is so unjust for the female child. So can we
what I'm talking now? I'm speaking based on that we are talking to ourselves, the family here.
Okay.
It's already a solution to what we can do to begin to address this issue. among ourselves now, that one thing is that we may not confront this culture head on, but in our actions and what we are doing can help to begin to address the issue at hand. That's why I'm saying that we, the young ones, we, the fathers here among us, will begin to look at, even where we already have a change of mindset, we already know that our children will inherit us. If something happened to us, the people, my brothers and sisters, the people in the community may not be able to favor and protect my children. So you, the first thing you should do is to make sure that you put a will in a place, even if you use percentage representative to say, if I have 2 things or 3 things, this is the percentage at which I want it to be shared among my children. It will be there, so that you are already protecting your wife and your children against the culture that you know it will take time to be corrected. So that's the first legal measure you will use to protect your children. While when you also, from the beginning, when the children are young, you begin to speak into their hearing that even if anything happen, everybody in this house, all of you have, everybody have right to share what I have. I don't know how to put it, but what I'm trying to say is that
you've said it
yes,
all, Dr. Hope. You've said it all. There is
yes,
no denying the importance of will sharing. Is not in the of will writing. That is very important for every living person to do before they die. No one knows when they would die. But I will come back to you again, Dr. Hope. I want to read a couple of comments from the family members, and I want to address one to Dr. Temitope. Our family member Irene Odomenen said, yes, will or not will, a law needs to be passed by traditional rulers to make it a law that parents' property should be shared to both male and female. Thank you very much, Irene. And also, Emmanuel Akpan said, so many cultures in Nigeria are so blinded that they believe if they change their cultures, their gods will raise against them. Thank you, Emmanuel. Going back to Irene, Dr. Temitope, like Madam Hope rightly stated, the importance of will writing, which cannot be taken away from us. Nonetheless, that is the second or next step, will writing. The first step I was looking at, I think Irene touched something on it. The traditional rulers. Remember, culture is mostly implemented in the villages, where when you leave it to the traditional rulers, they do it as they will, which in most cases, they give it to the men. And here we are. I have male children and I have one female girl. And I'm thinking, the other time, my husband and I were discussing Dr. Temitope, and my husband said to me, can you imagine, we just bought a house. And he said, can you imagine if our daughter is thrown away from the house by the son, our sons, or the son's wife? I'm like, God forbid, that was my immediate response, because I have 2 sons. I love them so much. And I have one daughter, which I will kill for. And I cannot even think. I don't know how parents do that. I cannot think of my daughter being taken away from a will, although they may not necessarily need it. They may not necessarily need it. But why me, a mother or a father, is dividing their property and want to give it to just the men? And what about the girl? What do you want? Do you want to throw her away? What is it? So Irene is saying that this culture of giving the will to the male, that traditional rulers should make it a law that parents should share property equally or equitably, as Madam Hope used it, amongst the male and the female. What do you have to say, Dr. Temitope, on, first of all, changing the mindset of people and then probably writing will?
Thank you very much. In my mind, always, in our mind, always in my mind, please, we want to appreciate the fact that for all our audience, all our listeners, you have a role to play. You are indispensable. If the required or the needed changes must come to bear. Now you are also inexcusable if you will join them to perpetuate this wickedness that we are all advancing against. We have a duty, there is a clarion call for us to stand for justice, for equity, and for the liberty of the human race. Now, this is the point. The male child and the female child are all humans. They all have life, they breathe. They both need to survive. And for the purposes of emphasis and for the purpose of knowledge, we want to establish the fact that it begins with repealing of laws. It's a constitutional matter. Let's take, for instance, America. Barack Obama, the father is from Kenya and the mother is from the United States of America. But looking at the entrenched value as enshrined in law, there is better recognition for the women. Therefore, he could claim to be an American citizen. If it's in Africa, contrary-wise, we say because the father is not an American, so he is not an American. All right? Look at Rwanda today. Look at other African nations. Some of these things no longer hold sway. So my point of emphasis is, where there is this aspect, I am not in any way, please let me make it very clear, I'm not a proponent who believes in some of the very poor ways the Americans have created or quantified certain words to devalue us as Africans. We must
That's a different.
Yes, we must uphold our good. We have good values in Africa, but tonight we are saying that this issue of inheritance, all right, from the word inherit, it is genetically traceable, and for us to give it a better pictorial representation, let's remember APO, access, participation, and opportunity. If we must correct some of these misnomers, we must ensure that we give equal access to the boy and the girl child, equal participation for the boy and the girl child, equal opportunities. Because when it comes to the emergence of who are those who we refer to as policy makers or policy implementers, the majority are the male. They make laws that are still inimical to the society, that tends to uphold certain poor cultural practices. But if the law says that this is not acceptable anymore, no culture will stand to accept or practice it anymore. So we must ensure that we give equal recognition for the male child and the female child when it comes to sharing of inheritance. Thank you.
Very much, Daddy. Before we come to Daddy, I want to ask Daddy Benjamin a question. Daddy Benjamin, I heard the example given to Dr. Temitope, and in it, he was in support of American law, which was projecting the fact that upon the President Obama has a paternity traceable to the father being from Kenya, yet he was allowed to be the president of the United States of America, being a black or mixed, anything you want to say. And based on that, he also did a kind of the claimer that he's not in support of the Americans and their culture of kind of disinheriting Africans, which I said that is a big topic which we discuss some other time. So the question I have for you, Daddy Benjamin, is, I know, just to draw from what Dr. Temitope said, I know we have something about like racism. I'm in abroad, I'm in UK, that is in UK as well. We have something called racism, which every black, there was a time we had something like slavery, which has been abolished because people fought. Black people fought. Everyone fought against slavery by the white man on African soil. It was fought both by men and women. They fought, and slavery was abolished. And we have something they called racism. And I know why I do like this, because it's a kind of subjective as well. So, Daddy Benjamin, for racism, both men and women, again, black men and women, again, just like during the time of slavery, that black men and women fought against it, because black men and women felt we are humans, both black men and women. Why do you enslave us? We are not slaves, we are human, both male and female black. That is the same thing racist anti-racist groups are calling. So both white, or mostly black men and women, I know why I'm emphasizing men and women, come together to cry, we are equal with you, the white man. Stop treating us lesser than yourself. Stop racism. Now, Daddy Benjamin, coming into Africa, in African soil, whilst abroad, or whilst we are all black men and women coming together as equal, crying out against racism, when we come to our hometowns, when we come to Africa, now it is women crying that we also have blood in us. We are humans. Stop discriminating against us in our own fatherland. Dr. Benjamin, what do you have again? I know you've said something about it. What do you have to say to our audience in our Mind family listening to you, especially because I believe that all we are doing here is to just remind us that we must not follow the law as written. I want to just quickly, please, quickly, borrowing from Emmanuel. Emmanuel says so many culture in Nigeria are so blinded that they believe if they change the cultures, their gods will rise against them. So is it an issue of the fact that they are scared of changing this culture that discriminates against one person over the other? Or is this something that they are holding on to because it's beneficial to one person as against the other? What do you have to say, Daddy Benjamin? Then I'll come to you afterwards, Daddy.
Yes, thank you, family. Thank you, Nas Angel. I want to say that most of these attitudes, I may call it attitudes, is because of greediness. And I may say they applied these cultural acts in some people because of poverty, especially on girls that have not been opportune to go to school and stands out. Just like the example of the woman that I have mentioned before. If a woman is outspoken, if a woman has stood out, if a woman is highly blessed, just like our nurse angels, I don't think that somebody will go and bring out or recall back what they call cultural acts, ancient things. Our forefathers used to do like this. They kept this law. We must apply this law. They said it's a must. Most of these things are, yes, as just like what that man, Emmanuel Aban, has contributed. They use all those factors that if you do this, you will die. If you do that, you will die. But I want to say that laws were not, all those laws were not made by God. Human being with the same blood. And he has not applied that law to kill somebody, that you women, you will not have a voice in your father's family. You will be separated. You will not be like your brother. Laws has to be broken. A lot of laws must to be broken. I said it that if you are emphasizing on laws, that man should inherit things alone, then such family, I may say, can never stand. Because in most families, women has a voice even better than the voice of men in that family, in such family.
Yeah, go on.
Want to say, the man say, if I want, then should inherit things, then that is an error, a big error, because you may die and keep things that a male child will come. Even some families, they have only one male child that will come and that the father has had, and they will finish those things. They squander those things under 1 month. They will sell it all. They will scatter it. But if it is a woman will know how to manage, because the senses and knowledge of management is in a woman. A woman knows how to manage as they manage kitchen. So they will manage all the resources of their parents. They can manage and protect those properties that the parents has left behind. They should not use all those fetishisms. All those shrines they have created, they say, if you share these things to your female, you'll die. It is a lie. All these things, this culture is something that is someone's mind. If you believe it, it works for you. If you ignore it, it will not work for you. You embrace it as you know that your destiny is in your hand. It is not in someone's mind, in someone's hand. You will not die if you do equality. If you make sure that female families are equal to having what their parents has kept behind, nothing will do you. In fact, it is quite necessary for the king's men to make adjustments of the laws. All these laws were made by kings and queens of the land. So we can destroy some. All these things, especially the laws that are binded, that they should not share properties to women, female children of the family. It is quite good to be abolish them. They should destroy such law. And you see that they will affect this law on the women that has no hand, the women that has no voice to say, to speak. They cannot do this to women that are spoken, that has been in school, come out and have money. They are looking forward to people, to women who doesn't have money, who doesn't have somebody by their back to speak for them. I want to say that as you have come out as a voice to the nations. Women are seeing you behind that you have spoken today, and all the speakers appearing in our mind family. We are speaking to the whole world, for the whole world to have in mind that women, female children are the same as men. They have
women, female children are at
equality
the same with men. Female children are the same with men. They have equal quality to the male counterpart. Daddy, I'll come to you. But before I ask you my question, I want to reiterate some of the wonderful points Daddy Benjamin gave. And I want to also say to you on this platform, I think myself, I'm learning. Even I learned something from my own dad tonight. And I want to say to you, please continue to invite the men, because they are the ones that will also be in the front line of change. Most of these things, these laws that we are made according to Daddy Benjamin by kings and queens, Ozos and Kabieses, are mostly beneficial to them. Some men also suffer from some of the laws that are made. Some men are not beneficiary to some of those laws. Trust me, we'll look at some laws that are also not beneficial to them. But tonight, some things I heard, which I want to repeat, I was writing down. Daddy Benjamin on the screen said that there are laws that must be broken, as if he was here when I was saying there are laws that are barbaric and they must be changed. For him, I like the way he used this. He said not just change, that they must be broken. And he also said that you will not die. He's talking to us. He said, you will not die. That is in response to Emmanuel Akman. If you practice equality, no juju will kill you. Because Daddy, sometimes they use all these fetish things to threaten people to uphold some cultures that are so bad. So Daddy here said, no, you will not die if you practice equality. And he said that such laws should be destroyed. Daddy, because we have to close. We'll come again back to culture. We have to close, and we're over 1 hour. Daddy, I know your name is Ozo, which means you're a chieftaincy holder in the village or your society. You're traditional man. So traditionally, you are a chieftaincy holder, also titled chieftaincy, and also religiously, you said you're Sir, Knight of St. Marumba, but tonight we are talking more on the tradition. We'll come on the night later. We'll talk about religion, trust me. So, Daddy, being an Ozo title holder, which they look up to you, Daddy, to uphold the laws. All these ancient laws that some of them, Daddy, are barbaric and are very harmful to certain members, both poor and rich, especially poor, like that is mentioned, and also to women and some men. What do you, sitting down here talking to the public, do you think that some of these laws, in particular, the laws of the inheritance, where especially in Igbo land, majority, the first sons are looked on, but mostly male are looked on. What do you have to say to in our mind family members about this law, and how do you think it can be changed?
Thank you very much. One thing I want everybody to understand is that we are all created by one God. And since God is our Father, we shall do everything that will benefit everybody.
Okay.
Because God has given us equal life. And God has looked upon us as an instrument to make sure that everybody is beneficial to what is going on.
Yeah.
Like what we are saying now, a man or a woman, I think we have equal rights in a different way. In a different way, because a man inherits the father's compound, while a woman gets married and will also be very responsible to the father's compound. And everything that is good should also, the woman should share everything that's good. And if it comes to a responsibility, she has to do something. A woman whose father's compound is at war or is not functioning well cannot be proud anywhere she is. Because I know a woman always say, my father. A woman does not say, my husband. Generally, my father. Because his father is his base, stronghold, God-given stronghold. So what I'm saying is that we shall not neglect a woman in any way. If it comes to the question of giving percentage to what we have, because a man remains in the father's house while the woman goes to the husband. And somebody has asked, if the woman is not married, so things should be done to maintain the dignity of the family home and then make sure that people who belong to that family are treated equally. That is my own contribution.
Okay. So, Daddy, it's a bit not very I'm not very clear, but because of time, we'll still meet again. Next time we are going to be looking to get our grandmummies in here to talk about how the culture has also impacted them as female. Daddy, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much, Daddy Benjamin, and to you, Dr. Temitope and Madam Hope. I am saying thank you very much. We don't want to stay too long. We'll be coming back again next week. We have a lot of rich information given, so we don't want to dilute it or over congest it. We'll be closing. But before we close, I want to read a couple of comments from our family members as usual. So one of them is, let's see, there's one I pinned before. Emmanuel again said, our ancient parents are not that learned as this our Presido era. Is it Presendo era? So Emmanuel Akpan is saying that our Asian parents, we are not that learned. We are much more exposed than them, and our ways of reasoning is far different from theirs. Okay, on that note, I would want to say, Emmanuel Akpan, I don't know about learned, but I know that what was obtainable at that time is definitely not what is obtainable at this time. Therefore, during the ancient days, there were no technologies, no electricity at that time when we want to go, no opportunities, like my dad said. That is not what I wanted to say. But what I'm trying to say is, in terms of learned, I think if we are equating being learned to English speaking and learning in the English man's language, I would say they also have their way of doing things. At the ancient time, it had a lot of, I think at that time, they were mostly farmers, and they needed a kind of strength, manpower to go and till the soil with hoe and cutlass. It's not like in this our technology day, we have the machineries that just a woman, a child can just, even now is a remote control. You click, pick him, the machinery clears the grass. So at that time, they were looking at maybe strength and manpower, which they mostly looked at the men, and most of what they were doing was in favor of the men based on the fact they felt the man was giving more physical energy, unlike today. So I think today, technology for me, rather than learned or exposure, I think advancement, development, and technology has come to change a whole lot. Therefore, if you can't measure strength now, because nobody goes into fighting. People have nice guns. Which is true. If you come to me to try both of us, man and woman, who is stronger, we can beam out. What I'm trying to say, in order not to really take a mind, someone will say, are you taking a piece? No, I'm not taking a piece. Truly, nowadays, nobody requires, if you are going to farm, you don't require strength, energy, hoe, and cutlass. If you're using cutlass, excuse me, currently, you're joking. Even in the offices, as we've said before, look at me talking to everyone from my sitting room. What do you think that is? It's because we have the technology wherewithal to do things. Therefore, the time of saying this person gave the lion's share with their energy is different, because we are all given. Like you say, then women were not made to go to farm. It was mostly men going to farm. Now women are working as much as men, or even more in certain homes. Therefore, that law of giving everything to the man based on the fact that he is the one providing is no longer applicable. We should look at, like Daddy Benjamin said, that a woman built the home. Do you want to tell me that the man, the boy, the brother will not come to inherit her sweat? So things like that should be looked at because of technological advancement. So let me read a couple of things. Again, the family members are saying, then we'll dance and close. Who won the color of the tunic, and also who won the music? We'll still get to know. So Chima Gozigom said, the one that pains my heart. Oh, darling Chima Gozigom, you know I love you. Don't be pained. So much is where the man's brother inherit everything because the man have only girl children. That is a different topic altogether, my sister. I hear you. And Aisha said technology is eradicating a lot of things. I agree with you. Ogama said great woman. Ogama said technology is nice. And Princess Elizabeth, I slept off because the drug. Oh, Princess, I think so, maybe she's not well. Princess gets well soon. And Oyebitan say, I don't think culture can be eradicated. We can only restructure it to be fit for our present generation to avoid discrimination. So when you hear culture eradication, there is no way you can eradicate culture. Culture is even my dressing, that is dressing, Benjamin's dressing. Every way of life is about culture. Daddy Benjamin is back calling his name. Everything about our way of life have to do with culture. So when we say eradicate a particular aspect of culture, I think 1000% we should do that. We should do that because that culture, that particular aspect, it could be killing of things you don't know, like twins that have been eradicated. You see, there are aspects of culture that should definitely 1000% be eradicated, not culture as in totality. You can't even do that because it's not possible. But there are certain way of lives of the people that should definitely be eradicated, and that has definitely been eradicated. However, not all of them should be, because there are a lot of good aspects of our culture, we must say. So on that note, I will ask for us to close. Just one word. One word from every one of us. We'll come back again. One word. Let us hear, starting from you, Madam Hope. Can you unmute and let's hear your closing statement? We'll be coming back again with Culture Part 3.
Hello?
Madam
Are
Hope,
we here?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we're hearing you.
Hello, family. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Madam Hope, we can hear you.
We are hearing you, man.
Dr. Temitope, let's hear from
I
you.
will say.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We've been hearing you. We can hear you. Go on, Madam Hope, please. Dr. Temitope, talk. Her network is playing off.
Thank you very much. In our mind, always in my mind.
I love you.
My destiny is in my hand. To our great family, to our father, to the evangelist, to Dr. Hope, and to Professor Angel. It's amazing. This is a whole body of knowledge. And I do hope that, if feasible, two things are inevitable tonight. Number one, we can design a M&E plan to identify specifics in order to find out the impact of this program on the populace. Because we're really impacting lives. Maybe all we need to do now is to begin to raise persons within the cultures with specific responsibilities, asking them to begin to educate and create awareness, identify cultures that are inimical, and seek for ways so that we begin to put on record that this culture has been repealed, has been changed, and that as a result of In Our Mind talk show. And then before it knows happening, we can have a collaboration with government and with international agencies. Thank you, everyone. Good night, everybody.
Wow, well said, sir. Well said. Thank you very much. Admins, family members, hope you guys are listening. We need to come together and find out the impact of our topics on the family, including myself, and how we can project it to the government, society, communities, and where not. Daddy Benjamin, let's hear a closing last word from you, please.
I will say, families, as you are returning back, have in mind that your destiny is in your hands, and my destiny is in my hands. You should not joke with your destiny. Continue to embrace God. God is number one. And our fellow men that in the house or wherever you are listening to this program, please listen to our discussion this night and amend your ways, your doctrine, whatever you have had as a doctrine, that has binded the women not to have share in their father's properties. Today, the voice representing the whole world has spoken to you as a word of advice. Take this advice home and put it into practices and make sure you have amended your ways. Remember, nothing can kill you. No fetish things can kill you if you believe and trust in God. Your destiny is in your hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daddy. Can you give us a closing statement for tonight?
Today is a wonderful day. And I believe God designed it to enlighten us on some of our wrong beliefs. We are in the world, both male and female, to live together and do things that will promote everybody's destiny so that we shall triumph as God's children. Nobody should regard himself as very wonderful because we are created by one God. We shall have to, in fact, recognize that everybody is meant to belong to this world by God. And God did not create two worlds, one for women, one for men. Only one world. And I believe that with the discussions we had this night, if we put into practice some of the suggestions, this will work well.
Wow, fantastic.
And, God will bless us.
God will bless us. God will bless us.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. There is something on the screen I want to read by Chijane, your uncle's, your brother's daughter. She said, if men should test what we women face because of the oppression, I don't think they will bear it. I think just to summarize, what she's saying is sometimes we need to be in someone else's shoe to understand why they are crying. It's important sometimes to wear the other person's shoe or to be in their shoe to understand that they are not just crying for the sake of it. They are crying because it's hurting. And I'll read a couple of more comments and we close. And Treasure, my destiny is secured. No one can take it away from me. Yes, I love that. And again, I think Irene said, in fact, you are now my daddy. Daddy, someone is dragging you with me. You say, you are now my daddy. I officially adopt you. Daddy, I thought parents adopt children. I've never seen where a child adopts a parent. You say, I officially.
It can be.
So, Daddy, you want to be adopted and leave me, eh?
She wants me. No. She did not say I should leave you. No. She wants to belong also.
Okay, so Daddy, based on that, what do you want to say to Irene? She said, Nurse Angel, please. Oh, wait, Daddy, wait. She said, Nurse Angel, please permit me, please. Daddy, what do you say?
I am saying that she has every right to belong to me.
Irene is now my sister. All right, Eval, I think you should give Irene 20,000 naira as my daddy has accepted. Daddy, should we give her 20,000 naira?
She will give or you give?
I will give her.
I'll give her.
Daddy was trying to say, no, let her not give you. Then I say, I'll give her. I say, okay. All right. So Irene, you're going home tonight with 20,000 naira. Fabumi is my love. Fabumi, I like her. She said, I love seeing you smiling. All right, based on that, is now way above time. Daddy, we have to dance. Stand up, everyone. Please stand up. Let us dance. Please, Daddy, stand up. Let's dance. Sorry, because I'm with my dad, I will have to do the needful. Daddy, I come back again.
No music.
Yeah, I want to put the music. Everyone stand up. Sorry. Daddy, come back. Mastercraft on the
Every day by day, I just they celebrate. Everything I do, we just they penetrate. I just want to say, oh, thank you, Jehovah. See, I'm living large, I get angels so for my ghetto. Never forget where I come from, not from ghetto. No. I just want to say, oh, thank you, Jehovah. Where can I walk to go, Father, 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 I call you if I follow one day you must go. See, I come from East, the enter street, brother, you know. If you need that, I turn to beast, you already know. If I know now, you know, don't get paid. Oh, now you know, me don't get to you. Man, I live up on the mountain, guess I saw no balloon, but don't get to you. I came so I'm the conqueror. I love them just a wonder. So which come up and you under. I fire them with the thunder. You wanna cause it on no two. I cover myself. Every day by day, I just they celebrate. Everything I do, we just they penetrate. I just want to say, oh, thank you, Jehovah. See, I'm living large, I get angels so for my ghetto. Never forget where I come from, not from ghetto. No. I just want to say, thank you, Jehovah. Where can anyone go, Father, 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 I just want to go, Father, 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 I dey travel go Igbo. I private jet remain for me, Baba, you know. Oku dilibi go be I never tell me photo. You know easy to the deal we come to Ambole. Na father because the club now he be to me. Since I lost my daddy, now he don't attend to me. I say gonna the place when the hood they hang me. Right up now on the chick they come to me. I thank you, Bagule Jeba. I can't shower. My God, the take shower. Oh yeah, walele, every day by day, I celebrate you. All right. Everything I do.
Before my dad gets exhausted. Okay, so one last thing. We want to see a family member, the first 3 family members, to dance Father, Father in respect of our daddies. The first 3 family members to dance Father, Father, including the admins, and post on the wall, they get 10,000 naira each. So we have to close, and we will say, I want you to unmute, Professor, and tell us our closing statement. Unmute. That is.
Our Father, we celebrate you tonight. You are a hero. You are the man of the season. We'll ever live to celebrate you forever. Thank you very much for giving birth to Professor Angel.
And in our mind, is always in my mind.
Yes. In my hand.
Love you all. Daddy, say bye-bye to them.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
See you next time. Daddy will be.
I love all of you.
Oh, Daddy say he loves all of you.
God bless all of you.
Oh, good night.